Hi, I'm Graham. Welcome back to Man vs Film. This is a top 10 list of movies that you can watch on Amazon Prime UK for the month of July 2018. So let's get started. Number 8, Scott Pilgrim vs the World. Scott Pilgrim plays in a band which aspires to success. When Scott falls for Ramona Flowers, he has trouble breaking up with his current girlfriend, but still tries to romance Ramona. As if juggling two women wasn't enough, Ramona comes with baggage. 7 ex-lovers of whom Scott must do battle to the death in order to win her. Based on the Brian O'Malley graphic novels, this is a ridiculously fun comic book adaptation. It is ludicrous, it is silly, it is entertaining, colourful, wacky, and that's all down to the fact that it was directed by Edgar Wright, who makes a fantastic job of this series of books. It's terrific, it's entertaining, it's fun, and it's just my kind of weirdness. I hope you enjoy it as well. Number 9, Clerks. Dante Hicks is not having a good day. He works as a clerk in a small convenience store and is told to come into work on his day off. Dante thinks life is a series of down endings, and this day is proving no different. His buddy Randall Graves works as the clerk in the video store next, and he hates his job just about as much as Dante hates his. I will always have a soft spot for Kevin Smith's debut movie. It is not the prettiest to look at, but the dialogue's pretty good. The characters are pretty decent, and even for all the rough edges that it has, it's still a movie that I go back to again and again, and I just love. Because of the interactions, because of the characters. It's black and white, it's rough, it's low budget, but it is worth your attention. If you haven't seen it before, check it out. You may find something that's rather interesting. Number 8, Caddyshack. Comical goings-on at an exclusive golf club. All the members are wealthy and eccentric, and all the staff are poor and slightly less eccentric. The main character is Danny. He's a caddy who will do almost anything to raise money to go to college. Trying to explain the plot of Caddyshack is kind of pointless. It's more about these characters, it's more about their interactions yet again, and it's just about the funny interplay that they have. You have Chevy Chase, you've got Bill Murray, Rodney Dangerfield, you've got a host of comedic actors here who just show up, knock out some hilarious lines, and then disappear for 20 minutes of the movie before they return again. Of course, there is a plot that's forced into this, but it's not really that important. It's more about hanging out with these folk, having a good time, some chuckles, and going, yep, that gopher just really does look pretty fake. But thank goodness it's not CGI. Number 7, The Double. A clerk in a government agency finds his unenviable life takes a turn for the horrific with the arrival of a new co-worker who is both his exact physical double and his opposite, confident, charismatic and seductive with women. Jesse Eisenberg stars in Richard Ayoade's The Double. Also along for good measure is Mia Wasikowska, and this is one of those really weird movies. It's kind of off-putting. It draws you in with this slow, melancholy take of this guy's rather boring life before this double is interjected that really starts to throw his life into upheaval. It's a movie that is worth checking out. It's a hard one to stick with, and I've watched this a couple of times, and if you can get by that half-hour mark, it really pays off in the end. Like I said, it's a hard one to get into. I hope you stick with it and enjoy it. Number 6, The Faculty. A horror tale set in a high school where the students suspect the teaching staff of being aliens who are intent on making the students their victims. Robert Rodriguez, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, set in a high school. That's the basic premise here, and that's what we get. We get Josh Hartnett, Elijah Wood, Jordana Brewster, Chloe Duvall, a host of other people all in this movie that even today is still pretty good, with the exception of some of the CGI that doesn't quite hold up. And since Robert Rodriguez has just had a big birthday, turning 50, I thought I'd recommend one of his more fun movies from the mid-90s. Number 5, Eden Lake. Nursery teacher Jenny and her boyfriend Steve escape for a romantic weekend away. Steve, who's planning to propose, has found an idyllic setting, a remote lake enclosed by woodlands, and seemingly deserted. The couple's peace is shattered when a gang of obnoxious kids encircles their campsite. These hoodie movies, the youth movies that came out about 10 years ago, were something that I never really locked in with. It was nothing I really enjoyed, but after hearing the good word of mouth of Eden Lake, I decided to give it a go, and 95% of this movie is rather entertaining. You get Michael Fassbender in an early role who's terrific. You get these obnoxious kids who do things that seem plausible and realistic, even as they start to escalate and further. The only issue I had with the movie is the last couple of minutes of it, which didn't sit quite right with me. But up until then, it's a perfectly entertaining, perfectly edge of the seat thriller that has got some tremendous acting in it. Number 4, Under the Skin. An alien entity inhabits the earth form of a young woman who combs the roads and streets of Scotland in search of human prey. She seduces her isolated and forsaken victims into another worldly dimension where they are stripped and consumed. However, existence in all its complexity begins to change the alien visitor. She begins to discover herself as human, with tragic and terrifying consequences. Again, we have another movie that, if you don't like this within the first 10-15 minutes, you may as well turn it off because it's not going to get any better for you. But this is an interesting study of a character trying to come to terms with the human psyche, discovering various human traits. It's a movie that's set in 2 parts. You get the first part where they're abducting victims, and the second part where it's a more existential crisis movie. Both of them working hand in hand, both of them excellently shot. Scarlett Johansson does a fantastic performance as the alien here, and it's a movie that kind of skates by, nobody talking about, which is a shame because it's one of the best movies that's come out in the past 10 years. Number 3, Don John. John Martello objectifies everything in his life: his apartment, his car, family, church, and of course women. His buddies even call him Don John because of his ability to pull women every weekend without fail. Yet even when the finest flings don't compare to the transcendent bliss he achieves alone in front of the computer, watching pornography. Written, directed by and starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, this movie has a premise that may put you off, but trust me, it is one of the best movies I've seen in the longest while. Also starring Scarlett Johansson, all about a person who is physical and all about looks, all about appearances, and how an older woman played by Julianne Moore changes that mindset, enriching his life, making his life better. All for it. It's absolutely fantastic. Number 3, My Life as a Zucchini. Zucchini is a nickname for a 9-year-old boy. After his mother's disappearance, Zucchini is befriended by a police officer, Raymond, who accompanies him to his new foster home filled with other orphans his age. At first he struggles to find his place in a strange, hostile environment. Yet with Raymond's help and the newfound friends, Zucchini eventually learns to trust and might find true love. 63 minutes. Animated, stop motion animated movie that has more emotion and heart and just sheer exuberance than most full-length movies. This is a movie that just can't help but get to you emotionally. It just shows you these damaged and battered and beat up kids and how they still look in the bright side of life, how they still manage to find a new family that is far better than the family that they have had. This is a touching movie that can't help but affect you, and it's all done with stop motion characters. They're interesting to look at, they're fantastical. It is an honest to goodness, heartwarming story with some devastating plot points, and if you haven't heard of this, it is time to get onto this. 63 minutes, why not? Number 1, Nightbreed. A troubled young man called Boone is drawn to the mythical place called Midian, where a variety of friendly monsters are hiding from humanity. Meanwhile, a sadistic serial killer is looking for a patsy. I had almost forgotten all about Clive Barker's Nightbreed when I stumbled across it and quite giddily put it on. It has got some amazing monster designs in this, all varied, all unique, and it has a crazy story. It's scattershot, it's a romance, it is a coming of age movie, it's a monster movie, a serial killer movie, a drama. It just throws everything and sees what sticks, and most of it does stick, and it's entertaining and it's crazy and it's weird and it's wacky and it's horrifying, and all of these things together shouldn't work, but for some reason in Nightbreed they work tremendously well, and I love it for that. I love it that it's just knocked out the park. It's aimed for something crazy, it's achieved it, and crazy turns out to be highly entertaining in this case. So there we have the top 10 movies to watch on Amazon Prime UK for the month of July 2018. I hope you find something there that you haven't heard of before, or something that you enjoy as much as I do. I'd love to hear about your thoughts of them in the comment box below, as well as suggestions that could go on my list next month. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.